your heart. And what I mean by that is, does anybody know anything about sailing? Sailing. Yeah, listen, I'm trying to make the connection, sails in my heart. Sailing, like going out in the water. If the wind is blowing towards me, I can actually move my boat towards the wind. And it all depends on the direction that I maneuver the sails. And so I don't, if the wind is blowing at my back, I don't have to turn. It's like, well, I guess I'm just stuck going this way, right? And it's called tacking. So if the wind's coming at me, I move it, let's just call it 45. I don't know, right? But it's a good mental picture. I can work this way, and then I work this way. And so I can get to the destination. So favor can come at us, but I can receive it and turn it into self-promotion. Right? Like the favor of the Lord's on me, so I'm destined for that spot, so I'll take the spot. Right? There's an example that we used last week with David. David had the favor of the Lord on him, right? It's no coincidence that, this scrawny little dude could kill all these big animals. Like, I believe the Lord had favor on him. He had equipped him with physical abilities and probably eyesight and eye-hand coordination and practice and all this other stuff, right? Beyond his peers. He'd probably given him a heart that was softened a little bit more than his peers. You know what I mean? Like, he had been tooled for what he was destined for. And he could so easily turn into self-promotion. But when you get into that headwind, right, if it's coming towards me, if I turn my sail of my heart towards self-promotion, it'll take me away from the will of the Father. But it's actually designed to carry me closer. So when I walk in favor, I can tack against that wind. And when I tack, what it is I realize this is how you work, right? To still head in the direction of the will of the Father is you take what you're given and you realize that it's not meant just for you, that you've been given favor to walk other people into their purpose. To a greater measure, you're given more favor because you're going to have a greater influence, right? And it's not for you. When you have a greater influence, you have more responsibility on your life and more authority and all that other stuff, right? But when you get into hardship, you can so easily throw this sail up and say, I'm a victim to the circumstances, and head in the opposite direction. So favor and hardship are very similar. And when I get the headwinds of hardship, I can tack and say, Lord, you have something in the midst of this that you want for the betterment of the people that I have, an influence to in my life. And as we go through these hardships, we can question, right, whether or not, why did it come on me? And I want to explore just one of these things after worship. And I know that this is kind of an uncommon break spot. In the point of the message, there's been moments that have been highlighted to me that, kind of an intellectual brain who doesn't sense the social awareness of situations, right? I have a mission, so I keep running on it. And so, but I do things, I feel like, the way that the Lord created me, to see situations and to navigate these things. Because I want us to sit on this concept and think about what we just talked about on Sunday. Right? We have prevalent headwinds. And do we let us take us back, or do we use those, right, for the advancement of God's will amongst the people that he's called to his name? And that's our choice. It's our choice. It doesn't matter what headwind comes at you. You still have to learn how to turn the sails of your heart in such a direction that you keep advancing towards what God has called you to, right? And ultimately bringing unity of the body and everything else, right? All that's a juggle point. And we're going to get into one of the scriptures for that. But Mike has a cool testimony. And I'm going to have you stand up here awkwardly, right? Until I warm